Hey everyone, Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a new copy of Prehistories Evolutions. It's the newest expansion for Prehistories by the Flying Games and 25th Century Games, who sent me this early copy. Now before we start, I'd like to ask you if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's something super easy for you to do and is very helpful for me. And like usual, let's get right into this game. This expansion composes of 4 modules that you can play separately and then add them in together how you see fit afterwards. You don't have to play them campaign style, but you can go through them one by one, making it more like a campaign style game if you wanted to. There is a little story for each module, so that helps add to the theme into the game and gives the new components a reason for being there. For example, let me start with module number 1 to give you a taste of the story. The coming of spring is always synonymous with great hopes. This year, after an endless snowy winter, an extraordinary event has come and upset the tranquility of your tribe. Severely weakened and about to give birth to her 3rd child, the chief's wife saw a huge wolf appear at her feet. But as the dangerous predator was preparing to hurl itself onto this easy prey, the baby cried for the first time. The beast stopped in its tracks, and without anybody understanding why, it finally jumped next to the straw bed. It stared right at the crying baby, lowered its head in submission, and fled in a flash before any hunter could raise their weapon. After the birth of Ayla, the small girl with unbelievable powers, the life of your tribe would never be the same. Gifted with a strong temper, Ayla has developed a strong bond with animals during the first 2 years of her life. During a boar hunt, the chief's daughter, then aged 3, found hidden in a blackberry bush a lone wolf cub. Without a glance to the hunters about to kill it, Ayla grabbed the shivering cub and swore by the elders of the tribe that from now on they would form an unbreakable pair. Growing up, the cub and its young rider became precious allies from the hunters of the tribe. Their sense of smell and their flawless teamwork allowed them to reach the hunting zones before other tribes. The game is all yours. The others can have the scraps, unless they have the exact same idea. Well, everyone will start the game with an Ayla Hunter card. This card is shuffled into the deck and it will be played like normal. Now, this card doesn't have a hunting value on it, so it cannot be played by itself, but when played with the other Hunter cards, you will be able to win the initiative with whatever hunting value you have, which means you will be able to go first, which is really important at times in this game. If more than one player plays the Ayla Hunter card at the same turn, the cards cancel each other out and the initiative is assigned as normal, as if no Ayla cards were played. But that's not all. The animals have gotten used to your hunting techniques and it has become harder to hunt your prey. It is time to work as a team. You will also have to explore new territories to find herds and learn how to split these herds to make the hunt easier. This new hunting zone is placed over the normal size 3 hunting zone. All the normal rules in the game will still apply to this zone except those specific to the zone, which I will explain. But there are 2 sides to this board and you will choose one of them to use for the game. When playing this side, you have to play at least 2 hunter cards of identical hunting values. You will in return get one of the new size 3 tiles to place on your cave board. On the other side, you will get 2 tiles, a size 1 and a size 2 tile, but you will be able to do this with only one group of hunters, although it does take away the normal 3 tiles, but its size is 3 with the 2 tiles combined, and you can place them more strategically. The last part of this module is new objectives. Your shaman is sure of it. The ancient spirits are calling for new paintings, but their demands are still cryptic. He might get more clues later on. These cards can replace other objective cards. This one is a 3x3 square with 3 identical animals for each line. This one is a 4x4 square. This one is to have 4 identical animals at the corners of a legendary animal tile. And this one is 3 groups of at least 5 identical animals. And all 4 of these also let the player place 2 totem tokens on them. Oh, and the half circles on the other side. Well, these are meaningless for now. And that's Module 1. You can see how the story helps add something to the game, and they are really fun to read and incorporate while playing the game. So I won't spoil the stories for the remaining modules, but I will explain what the modules add as far as the gameplay. So let's get back to it with Module number 2. In this module, everyone will take a Joe card of their color and add it to their hunter deck. The Joe card can be played along with a group of hunter cards, and when using Uncle Joe, you can hunt without risking a wound. Meaning, if you reach the hunting value where the broken arrow icon is shown, you still get the tile with the listed hunting value, but you also won't receive the wound like normal. Joe only applies to one group of hunters and not all hunters used by the player during that turn. There also is a new hunting zone that covers the normal size 4 zone, which provides new tiles corresponding to the shape shown on the side of the zone you choose. This zone costs a hunter group of 12 or higher and will automatically cause a wound unless you have Uncle Joe with ya. And this side will cause a wound with a hunter group of 9 to 11, with 12 or more giving you no wound. But also in addition, you will permanently lose the hunter card of the lowest value used in the hunt. And that's module 2. Uncle Joe will be a hero in that module for sure. In module number 3, each player will gain 3 more new totem tokens. New objective cards are brought into play, and you will take one of the cards from module 1 with the half circles on the right side of its card and pair it with one of the new cards from this module. As players fulfill these objectives, they will place their totem tokens on these cards indicated at the bottom of the card like normal. But the twist is the first player to fulfill both objectives gets an additional bonus of 2 totem tokens, which are placed on the 2 token shapes connecting the cards. Once a player claims these, it's no longer available for all the other players. So in a 2 or 3 player game, there are 3 objective cards from the standard game and 1 pair of the new objective cards. And in a 4 or 5 player game, 4 cards from the standard game and 1 pair for the new objective cards. These 4 new objective cards are: cover the column and row that the pre-existing hunter painting is on. Make a rectangle using tiles so that the 2 totemic animals' pre-existing paintings are in opposing corners. Cover the leftmost column of the cave. Cover the top and the bottom lines of the cave. This module also includes a solo hunter card for each player to add to their hunter deck. When he hunts alone, he will have a value of 8, but if he hunts with others, his hunting value lowers by 1 for each additional hunter card present at his side. Lastly, we have new hunting zone boards, which will be placed on the size 2 animal spot. One side is used for a 2 to 3 player game and the other side for a 4 or 5 player game. But on the side of the 2 to 3 players, you can only play hunter cards with values of 1 through 3, and on the other side for 4 to 5 players, only values 1 through 3 for the tile on the left, and only cards with the value of 4 through 6 on the tile or for the tile on the right. And that's module 3. Now to the last module in this expansion. Module 4 provides a new hunter card that each player will add to their hunter deck. Her hunting value and initiative is a value of 2. However, the hunting value is doubled when she is assigned to a hunting zone, which has her preferred animal. Module 4 also includes a new hunting zone that will cover up the size 1 animal spot. The side of the board will be determined by how many players are in the game. In a 2 to 3 player game, this side will be used. You will take the flower tile and then collect any size 1 tiles from the stock that you'd like to place in your cave. When the round is over, you will put back the flower tile on the hunting zone. The other side for 4 to 5 players has the same flower tile, which will allow for a player to choose any animal tile to add to their cave, but also a spot for a random size 1 tile that needs a hunting group of 3 or more. Lastly, this module includes new legendary tiles and a new legendary board. You get to choose which side of the board that you want to play. One side requires a hunting value of 14 or more with no wounds, and the other side includes a value 12 to 13 to get a tile, but also a wound, and a 14 or more for the tile with no wound. But in addition, you will permanently lose the highest valued hunter card. After learning all the modules, you can then mix and match any new hunter cards together. It's recommended to only play with 2 new hunting zones at a time, and you can then choose to play with the paired objective cards or not. And they recommend to always keep playing with the added totem tokens to have a more epic experience in the game. So they really went with a module-based expansion to give us what they could for a game like this, and that is more hunter cards, some different zones for hunting, some new tiles, and some new objectives. I'm not sure what else to ask for, but I really like the way they put this together because they have a story behind each edition, which helps you to know why, say, Uncle Sam is now in your hunting group. But if you just threw it in the box and let you choose the various editions, I think it would be less enjoyable. So opening up a new envelope with some changes at a time was a good way to introduce all the stuff in this game. If you remember, I really enjoyed the base game itself. This expansion makes it more modular, so you can add in things that you like. You will now have choices on how you can change the game to keep it fresh, or you can just find the ways, the changes that you like, and play it with those new additions from now on. Now, however you like to play the game, you will need to paint pictures on the cave wall with your family and friends in Prehistories Evolutions by the Flying Games and being brought to us by 25th Century Games. Again, this is Board Game Brody, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.